Hello. Welcome to my channel. My name is Lynn, and I am very excited because this month I am the August 2024 Sheetload of Cards guest artist, and I am so thrilled. I was super excited when Alicia, who is Call Me Crafty Al here on YouTube, asked me if I would guest design with her team this month. I was just beyond thrilled, and it's a real honor because Sheetload is so fabulous and Alicia's team is so talented. So it's quite an honor to be counted among her team, even if it's just for the month. So thank you so much, Alicia, and this has been a really fun Sheetload to create with. If you're new to Sheetload, what you'll want to do to find out about it is pop on over to Call Me Crafty Al's YouTube channel. I'll link to it in the description box below. On the first of the month, she puts out a video describing the new Sheetload, how to get it for free. You can download the printable that shows you the card sketch that you can create, and as well, there is a cutting guide that shows you how to efficiently cut down your, not just your pattern papers, but also the mats and layers to go behind those pattern papers. And she shows you in really clear diagrams with all of the measurements and everything so that you can minimize your waste and maximize your beautiful pattern papers. So far this month, I've made a lot of Sheetload cards, but I have yet to actually follow the rules. So I figured I'm guesting this month. I need to have at least one video on my channel where I actually follow the cutting guide. So this is going to be that video. The Sheetload of cards this month will yield 8 USA2 size cards, and to create it according to the cutting guide, you're going to need 2 sheets of 12 by 12 pattern paper. I've chosen these papers from Graphic 45, which I love. It's one of my favorite fall, pumpkin themed pattern papers because the colors are so warm, and I really love this kind of eggplant purple that's mixed in with these very iconic, orange and green colors of fall. So I think that's a twist that's just really, really lovely. So you'll need 2 sheets of 12 by 12 pattern paper. And if you cut according to how Alicia has it diagrammed out, you'll have some leftover strips that she recommends you could cut into banners and actually decorate the inside of your card if you'd like. Or they're large enough really so that you can make some cards with them. Now, okay, I don't know why it's so hard for me to follow rules, but but instead of the 8.5 by 11 sheets of solid color cardstock, I am going to use 12 by 12 papers because Graphic 45 designs their paper collections really wonderfully, where you have the paper collection, but then you also have the patterns and solids that you can also get in 12 by 12. And these coordinate perfectly. So why find just plain old solid color cardstock when you can use the Graphic 45 patterns and solids? Because even the quote solids, that's what I'm using here. But it's, you can see there's a little bit of texture to it. It's not completely solid. So I feel like it's not only going to be a perfect match with the rest of the papers that I'm using, but it's a little bit more interesting than just plain old solid color cardstock. So that's why I'm using it. And because I'm using this, I am not following the cutting guide that Alicia recommends because those were designed for folks who are using 8.5 by 11. So you'll want to pop on over and grab the free printable if you're watching this in August 2024, then it's still available for you to get for free. If you're watching this outside of August 2024, you can still get this. You'll just need to sign up to be a member of Call Me Crafty Al's YouTube channel, and that will give you a perk of being able to access the archive of past Sheetloads. So well worth it to be a member of her channel in order to get access to these amazing printables, because it's such a valuable resource. And I am going to cut down my solid color cardstocks. There's 2 colors that the sketch recommends, and so I have cut one size down, and now I am cutting the second one. So it's really quite fun to follow along with Sheetload, because I feel like the way that Alicia designs her sheet loads, she really makes the pattern papers the star of the card, because she does have some recommendations for how you can decorate, and in this month's sheet load, you can put a rather large sentiment across the center of your card, and so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to follow along with her design, more or less. I think I ended up tilting my sentiment in the opposite direction that she does. But really, you can also just make these sketches your own, because at the end of the day, this is a resource for you to use and for you to adapt and maybe just jumpstart your creativity by, giving you a place to start with, so that you can start to, cut your pattern papers and, follow the sketch. But then perhaps at some point in your card making, some other ideas, some new ideas will come to mind, and that might spark something different, and you might want to deviate from the sketch. That's totally fun. And in fact, Alicia even has some alternative ways that you can use the sketch right on the printable. So well worth it to get the printable, because not only are you going to have this fantastic guide for how to make a sheet load of cards, but Alicia is going to give you even more ideas that you can use to change things up a little bit, so that if you are making a lot of cards and you're mass producing cards, these resources are going to be really fabulous, because every sheet load will yield anywhere between 6 to even up to 12 cards sometimes. So this particular one will be able to get 8 cards out of it, and that's a lot. I actually filmed myself end to end doing this, and when I was editing my video, I took a quick glimpse at the total length of video footage that I have, and it came out to be about an hour. The only thing that I prepared outside of filming was die cutting my sentiment, and that probably didn't take much longer than maybe 5 or 10 minutes. So there was a little bit of time there. Well, probably closer to 10 minutes, because I did glue, it's layered, so I did glue them together. So now, what I like to do when I am mass producing is, once I have everything cut, I kind of line up all of my pieces, and then I approach this as if I was running a factory line. I basically do one step at a time. So my first step was to actually slice this diagonal angle through one of the pieces of pattern papers, and that way I have all of the individual elements ready to go. And I'm going to use my Barely Art glue, because it's just really fast to get glue onto these pieces. I feel like I'm faster with the liquid glue than I am with a tape gun. And so it's going to make really, really quick work of this. Plus, the Graphic 45 paper I know to be high quality, so I'm not worried about liquid adhesive possibly, wrinkling it or leaving glue lines or anything like that. If you're working with pattern papers that are like high quality and more like a lightweight cardstock, then liquid adhesive will be just fine. So the nice thing about this particular sketch is that you have the 2 pattern papers, but then you can actually, when you're making your 8 cards, you're going to be able to kind of mix and match between the two. Now, here's the thing. Always go with your first instinct. Okay, where I get into trouble is when I go to glue something down, I look at especially with graphic 485 paper, because every side is gorgeous. I look at the other side and I'm like, boy, that's really pretty. Am I sure I really want to put glue on there? And that's what happened. I thought, oh, this other side is way prettier than this plaid. Why don't I just use this? Well, the reason why I'm not using that is because we're mixing and matching between these two pattern papers, and I chose the green monochromatic plaid because I didn't want two patterns that were very colorful, two patterns that had like a similar size print, because then they don't really contrast in each other enough, and it becomes hard to really distinguish one pattern from another. And when you actually get the Sheetload printable, you'll see in the graphic that Alicia puts together that shows you the sketch design, she's basically shown the same thing where one of her patterns is a plaid, much like what I'm using, and then her other pattern is a floral. And that's the sort of contrast that you want when you're working with multiple different pattern papers. So what I look for when I'm choosing multiple patterns to feature on the same card is I want some contrast. I mean, everything's going to complement each other because it's all from the same paper collection, but you still want some contrast so that each pattern can sort of sing, each pattern can really stand out from the others. And in this case, for example, I wanted something geometric versus something that has more rounded organic shapes. I wanted something that was monochromatic versus something that is very colorful. So that's how I chose my papers. And you might, if you're going for something that is, even if you're using two designs that have a lot of graphical elements, one way you can kind of change things up to get some contrast is look for a pattern that's got maybe a really small, repeat pattern to it versus something that has a larger print. Or look for patterns where maybe it's got in the negative space a darker color versus a pattern that's graphical but has in its negative space a lighter color. So lots of different ways for you to get that sort of contrast, and that way each pattern really looks good and can stand out from the other. But one of the things that I really appreciate about Alicia's design is that she includes the matte layers. She includes, these solid color borders, and that too really helps define each different pattern paper and make it so that they are a little bit more in contrast with one another, and it's a lot easier to kind of separate the two. So really thoughtful design. I love how much work Alicia has put into this. I love that she makes it available to everybody for free. So again, if you're watching this during August 2024, then you can pop on over and get it for free. Just watch Alicia's channel that she puts out on the first of the month, and you'll be able to see all the things about Sheetload. She explains it so beautifully, and she'll also let you know how you can grab this amazing resource. On the 2nd of the month, her team and myself as a guest, we had a video hop, so you can also check that out if you're looking for more inspiration. Alicia's team is so talented. They are very creative with their approach to how they put together their sheet load. And it's really fun to see, how everybody changes it up and how they put their own twist onto it. So that's really fun too. Now, since I've been crafting a lot with Sheetload, this month what I thought I would do is I've actually collected all of my Sheetload videos onto a single playlist. So at the end of this video, I'll have that playlist come up if you want to see more inspiration from me and all of the various different ways that I have crafted with Sheetload. I'm quite the rule breaker, so I've been doing a lot of different approaches to Sheetload, including using my own Easy Wonder dies to get the card elements. I also crafted with digis because not everybody has 12 by 12 pattern papers. Not everybody has 6 by 6 pattern papers. Some folks really love using digis, and so I have a video where I've used digital papers. So I'll leave all of that and more to come in that playlist, so you have one spot where you can check out all of those videos. I'm also live streaming later this month, and it will be a Crafty Fun with Friends episode on Saturday, 2 p.m. Pacific. So do check out my live streams. On the 17th of the month is when we, and by we, I mean me and 3 of my crafty friends, we're all going to be crafting Sheetload cards. So there's not much left of this video, but I'm going to put the rest of it to music as I continue to assemble these cards, and I won't rejoin you at the end with a voiceover, so I'll just say my goodbyes now. Thank you so much for checking out my video. I hope you play along with Sheetload. If you do, be sure to use the hashtag #ShowUsYourSheetload so that Alicia, Call Me Crafty Al, can check out your take on this month's Sheetload of cards. Thanks again, and until next time, happy crafting and have a fabulous day.